Scorpio, hello. I've got your reading for April. I wanted to go live because I haven't done a live in ages. I hope you're really well, Scorpio. So I've said it before to you guys. I think this is because I've got a lot of Scorpios in my own life. But I always get this pull from you guys whenever you're like ready to hear from me. I hope 2023 so far has been going well for you. And I have really high hopes for the month of April also. I think astrologically there is stuff that's going on that you might find is really good for a lot of long-lasting permanent change. Mercury moving into Taurus, where conversation becomes a lot more about the tangible things in life. You might actually start seeing that you get an opportunity to start saving money, or your money situation begins to get a little bit better. There is a full moon in the sign of Libra on the 5th, and this is a bit of a clearing out. We know that this full moon requires a bit of a conscious effort to cultivate balance, you know, work life, home life, and all the rest of it. This might be a bit of a closing a chapter of a financial situation, and with every closed door, of course, there is another one opening. On the 10th of the month, Venus moves into the sign of Gemini, where it's really quite just flighty. Okay, romance, love. It's being given a linguistic kind of advantage here. You get an opportunity to just approach love with your words. Okay, speak, flirt, talk. Be quite quick to move. So, on the 11th, the Sun in Aries is conjuncting Jupiter in Aries. And you know what this is? This is one of those times where it's really asking you to just kind of connect with what it is that you really want. Where it is that you really want to go. What it is that you really want to do. Scorpio, the thing with this transit is that it's asking you to be bold. It is asking you to kind of take a look at the direction that you want to go in your life, where you've been so far and what you've been doing. I think, Scorpio, this conjunction might be one of those conjunctions that kind of empowers you to move in a direction a little bit braver than you may have even thought of before. It's one that you might understand as being empowering. There is a new moon solar eclipse taking place on the sign of Aries, and that's happening on the 19th. Now, this solar eclipse is one that's really going to shut out a few doors and ask you to open up a few new ones, Scorpio. And if you're going to follow the cues, if you're really going to trust and listen to yourself, this solar eclipse might actually blast open the doors on a few things that you knew that you wanted to have access to. Information, people, places, jobs, etc. What I'm telling you about April is that it gives you the opportunity to open up. Open up new energy, open up new portals, open up new doors, open up new conversation, make new friends, you know, all the rest of it. The key here is being open. The key here is being receptive. The key here is being able to pick up the cues and know where it is that you get a chance to just actually follow what your heart's true desire is, Scorpio. And I know that 2023 has been interesting to say the least for most of us, but for you, Scorpio, this might be that time that you get to break through a few financial chapters that you may not necessarily have been able to previously. Just trust this direction, go with the flow. It will help open up. The key here for you is also, Scorpio, is that just try and listen to your instinct a little bit more. Now, when I say to Scorpio, listen to your instinct, I'm not saying listen to your paranoia. Not saying that you're paranoid, but sometimes, you know, it does get a bit confusing. Intuition or our own biases. Scorpio, listen to your heart. Truly, truly, truly listen to your heart. What is it that you actually want? Are you just doing things for the sake of having something to do? Or are you doing something that truly, truly resonates with your heart? With this solar eclipse, setting off eclipse season, is asking you to just be honest about what it is you want, where you want to go. And if certain things are just not for you, don't do them. Just put them down, okay? Because it's better than holding onto a facade that makes you unhappy, okay? If there is a direction that you want to go in, if you are absolutely sure that this is the direction that you want to take, go in it bravely, boldly. Don't even worry about a single thing, Scorpio. Trust the direction and follow through on the cues and the instincts that you get from the universe. All right, Scorpio, if you would be interested in booking a reading, you can do so on the website rubyreadstarot.com. If you would like, you can become a member here and help support the channel. Do leave me a comment and let me know how you guys are doing. Take a really deep breath. Let all of it go, Scorpio, and let's get into some tarot for the month of April for the sign of Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, here we go. That's the 8 of Pentacles, and that is the 7 of Wands. We've got the 6 of Wands, the 4 of Swords, and the 6 of Cups. All right, Scorpio, for the month of April, I feel like there is a work situation that you have had to really, like, kind of fend off a few opinions on, maybe a few, like, people not necessarily making the process of work easier for you. In the month of April, what I'm going to say to you is that the more you decide to work on whatever it is that brings you financial results, not the stuff that you wish you could do, not the stuff that you want to do, but the stuff that brings you financial results. Where is the money at? Follow the money. Mercury in Taurus is really big energy of tangible goods. And this is also the time that you can actually sit down and make a financial plan and be able to stick to it, Scorpio. Where is the money? You may have had some sort of conflicting opinions, and I do think it may have had something to do with your job. And I think if you want to be victorious in this, it's probably a really good idea for you to go back to basics and sleep on everything else that is not in true alignment with you. Knight of Swords. There is some sort of progression that you will be making in a work, in a job situation, something that provides you money. If you are willing to progress, if you're willing to move on to the next stage, if you're willing to take the leap of faith, if you're willing to take the jump. Work-wise, some of you might find that you are now deciding to go into a new direction, step into a new venture. Basically, Scorpio, the thing is here, whatever you know brings you money, whatever it is that you know that you can actually apply yourself to and grow your finances this way, in the month of April, with this solar eclipse energy, you are really being asked to push forward in the directions that bring you the right kind of finances. I think that there has been conflict that may have been following you in regards to your workplace, and I think a lot of that has to do with perhaps your own subconscious trying to tell you that the direction that you're in might not necessarily be the one for you. Might not necessarily be the one that you need to be in. So all of these opinions that have perhaps given you this frazzled energy, this kind of off balance, off kilter kind of stage, King of Cups, is asking you to kind of come back to yourself. There's got to be some form of emotional intelligence that's being applied here. What is it that you're doing that is getting this kind of reaction out of people, Scorpio? The thing is here, if you are really willing to actually work on the things that are being exposed to you right now, like what it is that you're doing that is getting these triggered reactions off of people, will mean that you can really tie it back down to a level of emotional intelligence and how much emotional intelligence you are willing to apply to a certain situation, especially where it comes to conflicting opinions in work matters. You are being asked to move forward, okay? And if victory is what you want, the High Priestess and the 2 of Pentacles, there is a cyclical loop, a bit of a roundabout, a repeating pattern that you know that you keep repeating in your life. If you want the victory, Scorpio, get off the roundabout. Stop repeating these same patterns, all right? There is some sort of emotional intelligence. There is a little bit of study that you might need to be doing, I think, in regards to certain things, certain people that might be triggering you. What is it that you are repeating in your life? What kind of cyclical routine, what kind of hamster wheel, what kind of thing is this that is keep repeating in your life? If you are to take some time out in the month of April, really study yourself. Really study what it means to you to be limitless. Really study what it means for you to be you. The things that you've learned, the experience that you've got will get you to a victory if you're willing to sacrifice a roundabout hamster wheel loop that takes you back and forth into the same thing. I have a feeling that if you're doing things that are just comfortable for you, if you are doing things that you know are, you're only doing them because it's familiar, I have a feeling that this solar eclipse is kind of going to say to you, can you step out of that, please? Can you actually form a direction that isn't necessarily one that you've already done before? This is about trying something different. This is about trying something new. This is about trying something that doesn't mean that you are repeating the same thing over and over again. There is some study that needs to be done, especially on things that you know have had you triggered, and it could be in regards to what other people may have, you know, tested you on or poked and prodded you on. And the thing is, Scorpio, if this is something about you coming back to a situation that feels a little bit comfortable, you finding yourself back in a situation that you've already been in, a situation where you know that you've got to use the voice of reason, Ace of Swords, it's about you being intellectually savvy enough to be able to cut off from things that are Ace of Wands, not an initiative that you need to be taking in the right direction. I feel like the month of April is going to offer you an opportunity to break a cycle. And the best way that you might be able to do that is to use that emotional intelligence of yours and to stop when you're being told to stop. Work on what you know brings you abundance. And any other conflict that comes from it is only asking you to look at what these triggers are that have you in that frazzled energy, because that's where the healing needs to be done, Scorpio. And if there is progress that you want to make in regards to a victory, do not go back to familiar comfort zones. Rest when you need to rest, okay? But when you're being told to push forward in a new direction, to try something different, to try something that's actually going to be financially savvy for you, be emotionally intelligent and take the cues where you can. This April gives you a really, really, really good chance for you to study yourself a little bit better and break patterns, those familiar patterns, Scorpio. The Ace of Wands is a brand new initiative. It's taking a leap of faith. It's trying something different. It's doing something that means that you are in a position that you can cut off everything that does not, hey David, love, how are you, mate? That does not serve, you know, it's one of those things. It's like break out of the cyclical loops, break out of those repeating patterns, do a little bit of higher study, like higher consciousness self-study. Because that's where the victory is at. It's not in staying in a comfort zone. You're being asked to break this pattern, whatever it is. Stop repeating it. Stop doing it again and again. Try something different. And this is the initiative that comes with this Aries solar eclipse. All of this Aries and Taurian energy is saying to you that there is ground that needs to be broken. And you can do that by actually really acknowledging where it is in your own life, that you can do a little bit of self-reflection in order to see where it is that you need to start and where it is that you need to stop, what it is that you need to start with and what it is that you need to stop with. Scorpio, I think that's all I have. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, David, for being there. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Have a really, really good weekend and a really good April. Have a good one. Bye.